Interesting. So I'm glad you brought him up. So let's talk about this for a second, because this is kind of a concept that I've been really, really digging into throughout all of the player profiles that I've been writing for nooffseason.com for the sports card investment report. And I want to make sure that I'm advising our subscribers to the premium side and to our audience here on the shows that we put out, like timing being important, right? So the way that I would look at Perez right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, is I would look at him as like, yes, a legit driver. Yes, he's on my radar. Yes, it would be super cool. I mean, depending on who you are, it's a super cool storyline to think, man, he could finish second, Max first, Team Red Bull at the top. Again, depending on who you are, that could be a really cool storyline. But coming off of Monaco is now really the time to buy him. Wouldn't you say, like, wait until maybe he finishes fifth or seventh or eighth and maybe grabs some points, but don't buy him right after a win? Because I think, to your point earlier, it does seem like the F1 card market is kind of mimicking the other sport card markets, where it's like there is a clear time to buy and there is a clear time to sell. And you could look at Leclerc like a time to buy right now. You could look at Hamilton like a time to buy right now. I think you can even look at Russell. That's one of the reasons why I want to talk about Russell, is because you could look at Russell maybe as a time to buy right now. And I have some specific questions for you about him. But I'm glad you brought up Perez, because is now really the time to buy Perez?
It's a good question. The market has not reacted necessarily to wins recently when you look at the data. And I mean, I'll put you like this. I'll put it to you like this. He won Monaco. Is it a time to buy? No. If he wins in Azerbaijan, what happens? It's the same situation. What you're asking me now is
Leclerc, right?
Well,
same situation we saw earlier this year with Leclerc, I would think.
Exactly. And the second situation is pretty much like, I would compare it to the NFL playoffs. And I'm not dictating the futures there. I'm not dictating the future of the market there. But what I'm saying is, I feel like what we saw with Charles was pretty similar to what happened to Joe Burrow during the playoffs. Every single week, after every single win, his cards were rising. So was it the time to buy Joe Burrow after he won his first playoff game? No, but yes. After the second week? No, but yes. So was it the time to buy him before the Super Bowl? Probably not. So, right before the conference finals. So he won now. It's pretty much the same situation, and I'll go in the soccer market right now, as Malik Tillman. Malik Tillman has a hype around him. He just announced that he's going to be in the U.S. men's national team, and he played his first game yesterday. He played a few minutes, did okay, did well. Is he a buy? No. But yes, again, we'll the World Cup is coming. He will play as a starter at the World Cup. I think he's going to be part of that team. And obviously, he's going to be an important part of that team on the midfield. So once again, yes, there's hype. I mean, the time to buy Perez was probably when there was speculation and his price wasn't going up, So other than in the past, if he finishes fifth, as the example you said, if he finishes fifth or have, one or two races, the speculation is still going to be there. And I don't think it will drive his market down.
And generally you're right. Like, his sales, there haven't really been many sales, if any sales. I'm looking right now on Market Movers app by Sports Card Investor. You can get your first month there for only $1 if you use the promo code No Offseason. And I don't really see many many sales. So I think you're right. I mean, and I guess as someone who, I know you're primarily F1 and soccer, although you have bought basketball and football cards in the past and probably hold still a few of those. Like for me, I buy basketball. I buy basketball, soccer, football, F1, a little bit of baseball, not that much. Um, I would think that like if you're only an F1 person, you probably are looking at Perez. You probably are looking at Sainz, Ocon. We talked about Gasly on the last show. You probably are looking at some of those guys. You're probably looking at Drugovich maybe, or maybe you should be. If you're not, we're going to talk about him in a second. Um, but I think if you're buying if you're buying other sports and F1, Perez might not be the guy for you. And I say that because like you're in a situation where your investment portfolio looks a lot different than like an F1 only person. What do you think about that, Greg? Does that make
Oh,
sense?
I agree with you. I agree with you. Is there a play? Is there a play to be made there? Of course, but is it going to be the first driver you want to buy? I mean, no, of course not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but again, it's all about finding opportunities in the market. I think Sergio Perez is an interesting one. He has a huge following, obviously in Mexico, Central America has huge sponsors that come with him. So I mean, of course, if you have that kind of money to put on a driver, uh, I would tell you to go with Lewis or Max, um, or any
Yeah.
other prospect. But if you are in the market and you see a deal that's coming up, that could be interesting.
Yeah. So I think we kind of hit on, yeah, we're aligned on that. I think we kind of just hit on a difference between like F1 prospecting and just getting into F1. And there's a reason why we have Lewis as number 2 overall on our sports card investment report at no offseason. And I think Max is number 7, just because we feel like those are the guys like they're still sort of underpriced and it's a good time to buy based on who they are. And so um, before we get to Drugovich, I want to talk about timing another guy because